Wondering what to do in Wellington on a budget? Welcome to WatchZilla. Today, we are going to explore the hub for lovers of culture and the arts, Wellington, New Zealand. Travelers to Wellington won't be short on things to do. Whether you end up in Wellington to live the city life on a working holiday or are just waiting to catch a flight or the ferry to the South Island, there are a few things to do without busting your bank account. Whether you want to laze around Oriental Bay Beach or learn something new at the Museum of New Zealand, there is something for everyone in Wellington. A couple of walks give a good vantage point of the city to add to your reams of New Zealand photographs. You can also stop and literally smell the roses at the Wellington Botanic Garden. And for an overview of the entire city, travelers can hop aboard the Wellington cable car or ascend the Mount Victoria lookout. Wellington is also an essential destination for the Lord of the Rings geeks, as it is home to the WETA Cave, the free part of the WETA workshop, and a filming location is on a popular walk here too. So, set out into the city and have a blast on a budget. Number 10, CUBA Street. One of Wellington's best loved and best known streets, CUBA Street is one of those places where everyone is welcome and feels at home. Popular for its alternative bohemian flair, CUBA Street is bursting with activity. Home to some of the city's best cafes, markets and bars, this dynamic thoroughfare has the best nightlife in the whole country. It's also got a great collection of vintage designer clothing stores, so bring your wallet. Named after an early settler ship, CUBA Street has been a thriving part of Wellington's city life since it was established in the 1840s. The main part of the street, wedged between Ghuznee and Wakefield streets, is a pedestrian mall popular with shoppers and people looking for a good meal. Many of the buildings on that part of the street were built in the 19th and early 20th centuries. There are also a number of laneways, alleys, and side streets in the area, the Left Bank, Eva Street, Wigan Street, with their own exciting shops and vibes. And you can enjoy a beer or wine in nearby Glover Park, just off the Ghuznee Street and CUBA Street intersection. Number 9, Wellington Zoo. Play a fun day out for all at the Wellington Zoo where the lions, monkeys, and others await. Wellington Zoo is the oldest zoo in New Zealand. Established in 1906, it's well known for its conservation efforts. Get up close and personal with some of the animals by booking a close-up encounter or head along to one of their daily animal talks. It is advised to book ahead if you wish to take part in a close encounter experience as numbers are limited. Don't miss the Goliath stick insect for something unusual or the gorgeous herd of African Nyala. There are also plenty of well-maintained enclosures for animals from across the world, including the Malayan sun bear, along with giraffes, monkeys, chimpanzees, gibbons, meerkats, and big cats. It's also an opportunity to talk to the keepers and find out more about how Wellington Zoo cares for their animals. The zoo's animal hospital, known as the Nest, can be visited to see the work of the zoo's veterinarian staff. Located in the heart of Wellington, this is an animal lover's paradise. Number 8, the Beehive. It's not every day you get to visit a parliament shaped like a beehive. Or where women were first given the vote. So, stop in at the Beehive while you are in Wellington. Wellington's most iconic building is the Beehive, site of New Zealand's parliament. Designed by British architect Sir Basil Spence and built between 1964 and 1979, the building with its distinctive shape is the city's most loved or hated piece of architecture. This is where the lucky Prime Minister and cabinet ministers have their offices and where cabinet meetings take place. Next door is the more classical-looking building Parliament House, built in 1907 in neoclassical Edwardian style and home to the chamber, where parliamentary debates are held. Free one-hour tours of the Parliament buildings are held daily between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. and trace New Zealand's parliamentary history, as well as touring through the important government rooms. They leave from the visitor centre on the ground floor of the Beehive. The Parliament gardens around the buildings are open to the public and contain rose gardens and a statue of Richard John Seddon, who was Prime Minister of New Zealand between 1893 and 1906. Alternatively, visit the landmark in combination with a city sightseeing tour that includes the suburb of Thorndon, where the Beehive is located. Number 7, Wellington Botanic Garden. No trip to Wellington would be complete without a visit to the marvelous Botanic Garden. One of the most popular places to visit in Wellington is the Wellington Botanic Garden. The Wellington Botanic Garden spans 60-some acres, fanning out north of Wellington's central business district. The gardens are filled with everything from cacti and roses to tulips and magnolias. Plus, there are gorgeous wide trails that weave throughout the property, making the experience of viewing all of the flowers, plants and trees even more enjoyable. Go on bush walks, catch a free gig in summer, see water features and get views from the treehouse. The Lady Norwood Rose Gardens here are one of the Botanic Gardens' finest attractions, with 110 rose beds, boasting a flurry of different varieties. The on-site cafe is also a great place for a coffee or lunch, according to some recent travelers. The Space Place at Carter Observatory, with its planetarium show, is sited in the eastern section of the gardens, and the gardens are also home to Begonia House with tropical flower species displays. Wander the ground at your own pace, or garden tours are available and run every third Sunday and fourth Monday of the month. For a fun day out, take the Wellington cable car, then walk back down to the city center after exploring the gardens. Previous visitors offered favorable reviews of the small but breathtaking Wellington Botanic Garden. And if there's time left in your day for a little more botanic garden going, pay a visit to the interesting Atari Native Botanic Garden and Wilton's Bush Reserve, located in nearby Wilton, popular for its indigenous plant life. Not only did travelers find the flora spectacular, they also appreciated the exercise the many trails afforded them. If possible, try to time your visit to coincide with one of the frequent summer concerts hosted here. If you're a fan of tulips, past visitors suggest arriving in September when these vivid plants are in bloom. Number 6, Wellington Museum. There are far more free Wellington museums than Te Papa, and another excellent choice is the Wellington Museum. Rated one of the top free things to do in Wellington, state-of-the-art multimedia displays help bring the city's history to life in the small but impressive Wellington Museum. Housed in a preserved historic building that was once one of the city's early department stores, the museum features informative exhibits and film presentations that trace Wellington's maritime history and the city's evolution. Get a taste for life in early Wellington and follow its development from tribal land to colonial port, filled with sailors and seafarers to, as coined by Lonely Planet, the coolest little capital in the world. Visit the Wellington Museum through a self-guided audio tour or with a city tour that includes the museum in its itinerary. In particular, the exhibits on the 1968 Wahin disaster, the sinking of the Wahin ferry near Wellington Harbour during a storm, claimed 51 lives, and is New Zealand's worst maritime disaster are a sobering and thoughtful reminder of the power of nature and Wellington's connection to the sea. There is also a very well-presented gallery focused on Maori myths and legends. And in the attic, a steampunk space full of strange tales and curious artifacts. Kids and the young at heart can get transported with the Ngahau Time Machine, a video installation that brings you face to face with settlers from decades past. Take time to reflect on the Wahin disaster and other significant New Zealand events at the Wellington Museum. Also, worth a visit is the nearby Pukehu National War Memorial Park, home to the country's national monument to those who have fallen during conflict. Of special interest is the War Memorial Carillon, a series of 74 bells that are regularly played in concerts and are well worth witnessing if you're visiting the city at the time. Number 5, WETA Workshop. No visit to Wellington would be complete without some Lord of the Rings trivia. Movie buffs rejoice. A visit to the WETA Workshop Studios is a must for movie enthusiasts of all ages. This mini museum and shop is the front of the WETA Workshop, behind-the-scenes concept design and prop production. This multi-award-winning filmmaking design studio has worked with some of the world's best in the entertainment and creative industries. Located in Miramar, a short ride from the city center, WETA Workshop is home to the creations of The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. From fantastical costumes and prosthetics to large-scale props and weaponry, 3D models and animatronics, New Zealand's WETA Workshop is a one-stop shop for movie special effects. Explore the gift shop or book a tour and delve into the world of special effects, makeup artistry, sculpting, and much more. Included with the tour is round-trip transportation from downtown Wellington, a tour guide, a chance to chat with workshop staff, and an introductory documentary. Hands-on workshops are also available, giving creative types a chance to try out special effects makeup, make leather and chainmail, or sculpt a 3D character. Set aside some time to immerse yourself in this magical world. A popular choice for Lord of the Rings fans is to combine a WETA Workshop visit with a tour of Lord of the Rings filming locations around Wellington. Number 4, ZEALANDIA ECOSANCTUARY. Explore Wellington's world-first, fully fenced eco-sanctuary named by Time magazine as one of the world's 100 greatest places in 2019. Dedicated to exhibiting New Zealand's conservation efforts and its unique nature and wildlife, ZEALANDIA EcoSanctuary is a 255-hectare urban eco-sanctuary only 2 kilometers from the city centre. Its mission is to protect New Zealand's wildlife and to return Wellington Valley's forests and freshwater systems to their pre-human state. As you walk through the home of native and rare wildlife, it's easy to forget that you're just 10 minutes drive from the city. Many described this sanctuary as a magical place found just a stone's throw from the city. All pests have been eradicated from the fully fenced sanctuary, leaving the wildlife and plant life free from predation. Here, many of the country's native birds including endangered species such as the stitchbird, saddleback, and taka can be heard and sees, as well as more than 100 kiwi and New Zealand's famed reptile, the tuatara. The project has returned 18 native species of wildlife to the area, and rare birds are now thriving in this gated community. There are 32 kilometers of walking trails throughout the reserve for visitors to explore, plus a museum that documents the natural history of the country. There are multiple ways to trace the development of New Zealand's natural history in Zealandia. Daytime and twilight tours are also available, along with a fun electric boat ride. Some highly recommend splurging for a guided tour, as the passionate guides bring the sanctuary to life. Visitors can learn to spot highly endangered birds by their distinctive features, birdsong, and behaviors. Discover what New Zealand was like before human impact and see extinct species such as the moa and host seagull via multimedia exhibits. Entrance fees are typically included with bookings of small group walking tours. Visit after hours to experience Zealandia's Sanctuary Valley at night and you may glimpse the little spotted kiwi. Number 3, Mount Victoria. Every great city needs a great lookout, and Mount Victoria, which rises more than 640 feet above sea level, is the place to find that awe-inspiring, panoramic view of Wellington and its surrounds. Looming out of the land at the end of Curtin Place, Mount Victoria is deeply embedded in the life of Wellington's central city. To get there, you can start at the eastern end of Curtin Place, cross Cambridge Terrace and Kent Terrace, walk along Majoriebank Street until you see the sign to the southern walkway. Follow the summit walkway to the lookout. If you're feeling active, a 30-minute walk from the city will see you at the top, or for those less able or short on time, a quick drive will have you soaking in the views in minutes. Once you reach the summit, which you can drive or hike up year-round, you'll enjoy an awesome vista of the city, the harbor, and the rolling hills and valleys that wrap around Wellington. Make sure you bring your camera. The Mount Victoria Lookout is a popular Wellington spot and provides impressive views extending on a clear day out to the Hutt Valley in the north, Remutaka Range to the east, and the Cook Strait in the south. A narrow winding road, signposted lookout, runs up from Oriental Bay to the Bird Memorial below the viewing platform. A memorial to Antarctic explorer Admiral Richard E. Byrd, who used Wellington as his base during his second Antarctic expedition, stands atop the lookout, where there are also information panels detailing the history of the city and the summit. Additionally, part of the walk was used in The Lord of the Rings when the hobbits hide from the Black Riders outside of the Shire. Mount Victoria is located in the town belt, a series of parks, forests, and green spaces protected from the advances of the city. There are numerous walks in the area, including the steep trail to the lookout, as well as many challenging mountain bike routes. Half and full-day sightseeing tours of Wellington, as well as shore excursions, frequent the lookout. Recent visitors recommend hiking up the Mount Victoria Lookout on a nice day, since the summit will leave you exposed to the elements. Most said that although there are a few steep portions of the trail, the views at the top are worth the exertion. Take a picnic with you, settle in on the hillside, and relax while watching ferries and cruise ships sail into the harbor and planes fly in and out of the airport. Travelers are divided on the best time to enjoy Mount Victoria. Some said the quiet morning is the best, while others suggest arriving late in the day to watch the sunset here. Grab some fish and chips and sit on the grass as the sun goes down and the lights comes up. Number 2, Museum of New Zealand Te Papa Tongarewa. If there is one museum you are going to visit in New Zealand, it has to be Te Papa. New Zealand's National Museum, Te Papa, is a must-visit for art lovers, history buffs, and science geeks. A trip to Te Papa is ideal for a rainy day or if you're looking to learn a little something new. The National Museum is about all things New Zealand, from land to sea. Located on Wellington's waterfront, the Museum of New Zealand Te Papa Tongarewa holds massive collections of New Zealand art and artifacts. New Zealand's National Museum is an immersive journey into the natural forces that formed the country, the culture of the Maori people who first settled here, and the social history of both Maori and Europeans who have shaped the nation since then. Unlike any other museum you've ever visited before, Te Papa tells the stories of Aotearoa New Zealand through innovative and interactive exhibitions that are fascinating and fun for curious minds of any age. Hear stories from local communities, see some of the best contemporary Aotearoa art, and entertain your kids while teaching them about the world at the museum's discovery centers. Explore the vast array of artifacts, tribal artworks and items of interest across 5 main collections including art, history, Tonga Maori, Pacific cultures and natural history. Of special note are the museum's collection of 20th century New Zealand paintings and its early New Zealand photography. The Museum of New Zealand Te Papa Tongarewa has a wealth of exhibits to explore, from the earthquake house that simulates the experience of being in an earthquake to the much more sedate Arts Te Papa collection, with 11 galleries of artworks focused on New Zealand and Pacific Island artists. The highlight of the museum though is the Mana Wenua exhibition, which traces the history of New Zealand's Maori, with a fine collection of Maori art and treasures and state-of-the-art multimedia displays. Cafes and shop are also located in the premises and are especially handy if you're planning a long visit or are attending an educational seminar or lecture. A wide range of guided tours are available. Visit the Maori highlights with the help of a Te Papa host or turn up late and get an abbreviated whirlwind tour of all you need to see. The museum is also a stop on a hop-on hop-off minivan excursion. Insider tip, don't forget to check out the mini exhibition under the Te Papa car park. Not a lot of people know it is there. Consistently rated as the top tourist attraction in the city, Te Papa won't disappoint. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. Number 1. Wellington Cable Car. Another one of the most popular Wellington activities. The bright red Wellington cable car is a bit of a classic. The cable car is New Zealand's only funicular railway, and it's just a few minutes' walk from James Cook. The century-old Wellington cable car is a great way to get an overview of the city as it runs from Lambton Quay in downtown Wellington up to Kelburn. It's also a scenic way to reach top attractions such as the Wellington Botanic Garden and ZEALANDIA Sanctuary. You can walk from the museum or kiosk to the ZEALANDIA Reserve, or for more relaxed sightseeing, take the free shuttle. Cable car run every 10 minutes Monday to Friday between 7 a.m. and 10 p.m., with slightly shorter hours during the weekend. The ride from the central business district to the city's tranquil botanic garden offers a stunning light show inside the tunnels, as well as gorgeous vistas of Mount Victoria and Wellington Harbour as you reach the top. There are 5 stops along the cable car route. At the top, visitors will be treated to viewing platform, the free cable car museum and a small cafe. You can ride the cable car independently or as part of an organized sightseeing excursion that hits Wellington's highlights. A cable car ride is also one of the top things to do at night in Wellington. Some say that although the views are magnificent, the swarms of tourists temper the atmosphere. To that end, others recommend avoiding days and times when the cruise ships come to shore, since the crowds are heavier during these periods. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchZilla and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.